No idea why suddenly my microphone stops working. So sorry about this. And I know that right now we probably are not have the same sound quality that we usually have because you're hearing me through my notebook's internal microphone instead of my external microphone. But at least you can hear me because you couldn't hear me just a few minutes ago. So we're good now. All right, fantastic. Yeah. So, welcome again. Now that you can hear me to Coffee with Markus. Today is April 17th and it is day 39 of the stock market crash. Or is it? Because it seems that this will be the second week in a row that we finish up. We haven't had this since February. So, since 6 or 7 weeks? We'll take a look at the markets. We'll see what the markets are moving right now. So, what are the news? The Dow is up almost 500 points for today. Why? Because, first of all, there's news that the economy might be reopening soon. So, this is where President Trump is talking to the governors, and it seems that up to 29 states could reopen soon. Here in Texas, Governor Abbott said that he would like to see stores opening next week on April 24th. Now, is this a little bit too early? Is this a little bit too premature? This is what the markets are actually looking at right now. So let me just jump right into the markets right here. As you can see, this is the Dow Jones. So today we're right now rallying into the close. Let's take a look at today of what was happening here today. So this morning, based on the news that the economy is reopening soon and a possible treatment for this nasty virus from a company called Gilead, I think the drug is called remdesivir. Not quite sure how to pronounce this. But anyhow, these are the news where overnight markets jump. But as you can see today, investors were like kind of, okay, is it really happening or is this too early? But right now, it seems that we are rallying into the close. Now, let's take a look at this week and see what happened here this week. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that we see the last 5 days. This right here was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So yes, it seems that we're finishing the week on a high load, actually on highs that we haven't made since probably March March 11th here. So that is looking good, but you can also see it is somewhat hesitant. So investors are still kind of, is it really happening? Are we going to open the economy or not? Will we see a relapse in cases? Because right now, you know that a website that I follow is worldometer.com. It seems that we might have peaked here when it comes to cases, but we also know that experts warn us if we stop this social distancing and start our normal lives too soon, right? It could actually flare up again. So, and this is what we see in the markets right now. Kind of a let's wait and see what's happening. And I think next week will be very interesting, especially when we hear from some states that might actually be reopening. Now, but it's also pretty clear that the V-shaped recovery, right, that we're going down and then go right back up that many were hoping for is not going to happen. We just kicked off earnings season, so we have companies reporting earnings here right now. And this is what will happen over the next 2 weeks. And this will give us an indication of how bad the economic impact is. And when we talked already about the unemployment, more than 20 million people have lost their jobs in the past few weeks. And also quite interesting, the Paycheck Protection Program for small businesses ran out of money yesterday. So this, of course, is something where right now the markets are in a wait and see and want to see what's actually happening. Now, let's take a look at some key stocks that I want to point out here for today. So one of them is Boeing. So Boeing today announced that they will reopen one of the factories that they closed, I believe, 2 weeks ago. And so Boeing in the news today, jumping up 13%. Now, the other company is Gild. This is Gilead Sciences. This is the company that supposedly has a drug that could be used for treatment of this virus. So as you can see, it jumped up way up there, but is now retreating a little bit because the tests that came out were obviously, or not obviously, but what I heard is that they were leaked and not yet officially confirmed. So I hope that you can hear me now. See that a few say, okay, sound is good right now. So this is what's happening. Now, another thing, and this is where it is super important. You see, this is where many people are making a mistake. Let's talk about Netflix for a moment. Netflix yesterday made a new all-time high. Today, going down 4%. See, this is very typical. When a stock is in the news, when everybody is talking about it, that's when it is too late to get in. Now, you know me. I like to rely on indicators, and the indicators here clearly told us that Netflix is a possible buy at 364. And you see, if you would have called this and this 100-point move here, let's just see in percent of how much it is. Let's just even say up to today, where it retreated a little bit. So that's a 15% move. Oh, I'm just getting here confirmation that I closed one of my positions here, apparently, that I put on for this week, and we'll talk about this here in a moment as well. So the important thing here, this is where it goes back to, you know me, what I like to say, trade what you see, not what you think. Whenever a company is in the news of making new all-time highs, it is usually too late. And this is where I see some people jumping blindly into a stock, which is the hot stock tip from somebody, and then today have a rude awakening. So don't make this mistakes. As you know me, I like to rely on indicators because indicators for me are objective. I don't even trust my own judgment when it comes to saying whether a company should go up. I like the indicators, and right now they say that it is more likely to go up. Now, talking about indicators, let's take a look at the overall markets here. So the indicators right now, as you can see, are still saying it is green. It is more likely for the market to continue to go up. Now, admit it, we're going up here at a very small, slow pace, and that is absolutely normal because usually what you'll see that a market crawls up and then it comes down. There's also the saying, the market takes the escalator or the stairs up and the elevator down, and this is what we have seen here. So right now the market is taking the stairs up very slowly, but hey, I mean, at least we're moving up. But also looking at the VIX, the volatility index or the fear factor, it is still at pretty high levels. Right now at 38, it has calmed down. But as you can see, investors don't think, and traders, that we are out of the woods yet. So there's a lot of volatility still factored in. And this is why I personally, right now, like my strategy of selling puts. This is the strategy that I taught this week in the Theta Kings class. And I know that many of you have been in this class, so would you like to see what we're doing here by the end of the week? So we entered position on Tuesday and Wednesday, and today, 2 or 3 days later, let's take a look actually and see how we are doing here as we have 22 minutes left to trade. Okay, so here is my account. This is the small account that I set aside only for selling puts. So at the beginning of the week, this account was at $33,000. And right now, as you can see, it is at $35,000, 500. I just automatically, this was going on in the background while I was talking to you, just automatically realized the profit where I got out of SPCE. Now, I sold the put on SPCE on Wednesday, and just 2 days later, as you can see, in 2 days made $946.70. Now, I still have unrealized profit on Play and NCLH. These are positions that we entered on Tuesday. So as you can see, if we add it all up, we're looking at $2,200 just for the week. Now you probably get an idea of why I am loving puts. By the way, if you attended the Theta Kings class, I hope that you're happy today. And if so, give me a quick thumbs up, click on like, let me know if you're enjoying this and if you enjoy trading, because if you're new to trading and you started with this strategy, I really hope that you had some success this week. Now, very important, as I'm showing you the account, and we can talk about the positions here and some questions that you have, of course, in a moment. Please, I have losing trades as well. I must say, though, right now with the puts, I am on a winning streak. I believe that ever since I started trading it, which was 4 weeks ago, right, when we started crashing down. So 4 weeks ago, I started trading this account, and ever since, I haven't had a losing trade yet. So knock on wood, right? Because we know that losses are part of the business as traders, so it can happen and will happen. But thus far, it is doing really well. Very happy. Let's just see of how close we are of possibly taking profits in the other positions. So NCLH, I want to exit this position when it goes down to 25 cents. No, actually, sorry, when it goes down to 13 cents right here. And right now we are trading at 25 cents. So, hey, maybe on Monday we can take some more profits there. That would be awesome, right? I mean, I would love that. No doubt about it. And Play is the other one that I have on here right now. And Play right now is trading at 20 cents. And I want it to come all the way down to 9 cents. And then I'm taking profits. Now, somebody asked, Markus, why do you take profits when you see 70% of your total profit here? As you can see, right now, I'm already out of the trade, made close to $1,000 in a matter of 2 days. So why would I hold it through the weekend? Because we never know what is happening this weekend. We never know if the markets continue to go up on Monday, because that's obviously what I'm betting on with this here, or if we have a hard crash. And you know, we have had quite a few Mondays we were limit down, and on the Mondays, these were the days when the markets were down 8%, 9%, or even 10%. Okay, so is this helpful thus far? Good, because if it is, do me a favor, click on like really quick, because this way I know that you're enjoying the video, and I want to see what questions you have, because there were quite a few questions here. Kushal says, let me just bring it up here. Yep. There we go. Yep, got out of SBC, took 70% profit according to the rules. Seems if you're greedy, could have gotten another 30%. Yeah, but it's really not worth the risk. I mean, this trading strategy is risky, selling put options. But the way how I like to trade it, I like to take as much of the risk out of this as possible here. And so Pepper is asking, what is involved in being a platinum member? Actually, if let me see if I still have the number here. If you would call or text Lisa, she can let you know, or I give you here the number of the office. So you can ask them, and they can give you detailed information. Would be a little bit too much right now to go through this, but Pepper, a really good question. So this is being a part of my mastermind, being part of the traders that I like to trade with pretty much every week, right? So if you enjoyed the live trading here, then you might consider joining the mastermind. Anyhow, let's get this up there. So there were a few questions that I wanted to take for earlier. Okay, Anna, I know, Anna, you were asking about Cisco. So let's do this. Let's take a look at Cisco together. I know that you asked about it, so let's jump on the charts and take a look at Cisco. Now, Anna, I remember that you said that you're kind of stuck in Cisco and that you were underwater. So, Anna, let me ask you, where did you get in? I mean, as you can see right now, just looking at the indicators, yes, of course, if you got in at $50, you're underwater right now. But as you can see, right now, the indicators are telling me that it is more likely for the market to go up, all right? So for this stock. So I would say if you're stuck in there, hang in there. Again, you do whatever you need to do. I can just tell you what I would do. Honestly, I would make sure that I never get stuck in there. So this is why I'm using the 2% rule, right? Which means that I get out of a trade if it goes against me, and I get out of it rather quickly. I did a video on this, and I really recommend that you watch it. It's about calculating the best stop loss for a stock. Or if you have been following Coffee with Markus, you probably have seen it. So right now, just looking at the charts, and again, this is what the indicators are telling me. Right now, it is more likely to go up. How far? I don't know, right? I mean, as long as the RSI is above 50 and the stochastics is above 50 and the purple line is above the orange line, we'll be good to go. Now, this uptrend here could come to a stop at any given time, because as you see right here, we do have some resistance. And Anna, honestly, sometimes it's a little bit easier to just take the loss, free up the capital, and then use some other strategies trying to make back the money that you lost. I mean, for me personally, nothing is worse than being stuck in a position that I don't want to be in, right? And it seems right now you are stuck in a position that you don't want to be in. So just as an idea, if you have a lot of money tied up right now and you would like to recoup it quicker, than just waiting for the market to come back. You might consider just closing it and then use this money to hopefully find other things to trade. Because as you can see, there's always opportunities in the market. All right, and I hope that helps. And I know that I owed you this apology. Okay, not apology, answer. Jesus, you see, this is what happens when I already start looking at the next questions while I'm still talking. So not that great of a multitasker. So what I should do is I should stop talking, take a sip of coffee, and then take a look at the next questions. What do you think about this? Sounds like a good idea, huh? So Salty is asking a great question about Heikenhashi candles. And you see, there's many ways how you can take a look at charts. So let me just show you. So as an example, right now I'm using simple bars because I personally like the coloring according to my PowerX strategy. Now you can use, there's a bunch of candles. There's Heikenhashi candles. You see, honestly, for me, I don't see much more on this, especially if I would remove the coloring. I mean, the coloring is actually, for me, this way it's based on the indicators here, and this is helping me tremendously. If I took that away and I just have the standard Heikenhashi here, it doesn't help me. I mean, I don't see anything. For me, it's honestly a little bit confusing. So this is where there's many ways, and if it helps you, then good for you, right? I mean, we talked about it the other day. What is the best trading strategy? The best trading strategy is a strategy that helps you to make a decision of three things. First, what stocks or options to buy or sell. Number two, when to enter. And number three, when to exit. And when to exit with a profit or with a loss. Is this making sense, Salty? Okay, so this is where, if it helps you to know without a shadow of a doubt of when you should enter, please, by all means, use this. I like to use the PowerX strategy, as you know, which is using these indicators to tell me exactly when to enter, where to place my stop loss, and where to place my profit target. Good. Okay, so I see that quite a few of you said I didn't have any sound. Yep, and Antonio, you summarize it perfectly. Trade what you see, not what you think. This is why I have the mug. By the way, if you would like to have a mug like this, I believe that they're $9 or $10, something like this, at rockwelltrading.com/store, right? So it's like a store where you can buy this. If you would like to have this as a reminder on your desk every single day, feel free to get it there. I believe there's a few dollars shipping. Trust me, we're not making a single cent on these mugs. Somebody's producing it for us, and we're just selling them at exactly the same price that we are buying it for. But I think it's a good reminder. Okay, so, okay, Kushal is asking, I know your indicators say the market goes up, but when we're seeing 22 million unemployment number, the economy markets simply don't recover this quickly from something like this. You're absolutely right. And you see, Kushal, I'm looking at the markets and I'm thinking, how can this market go up? And in the beginning of my trading career, I was really wrecking my brain. And I read a lot of websites. So I went to all sorts of websites, tried to understand of why these markets are going up. And you know what? At some point, I just realized I'm not that smart. And I said, I surrender. Because if the markets want to go up, they will go up, right? I mean, there's nothing. Whatever I think is not important. And whenever I did this, I must say, Kushal, my stress level went way down because I'm going with the flow. As you know, I trade what I see, not what I think, because apparently I'm not that smart. So because I can't figure out, I cannot give you a solid reason right now why the market is still going up for a second week in a row. I mean, right now, we can take a look at it really quick. Let me just show you, because the markets are rallying into the close right now. So that's a beautiful thing, since we're doing it here live, going into the close. We can take a look at 5-minute charts. And right now, look at this. Look at what is happening at the market right now. We are at session highs for the day, and we already rallied up quite a lot. We are almost up 3%. Now, admit it, this 3%, a few months ago, it was a lot. Right now, it's like, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, it seems that there's a lot of optimism right now. Justified or not, doesn't matter. Traders are optimistic by nature. And again, this is where I'm following the trend. And this is why I also, just by doing so, I mean, look at this right now. For the remainder of the day, for today, we already have $1,100 and 946 realized. So, hey, if the market wants to go up, it wants to go up. Anyhow, yeah. So, great comment, and I wish I knew. Anyhow, Colby's asking, do you consider open interest and volume when evaluating options? No, and here's why. You see, the way how I sell puts here right now is so far out of the money, and I usually don't run into a problem. I mean, you see it today. SPCE, there's not a lot of volume. I mean, we can look it up, but in the options, there's probably a few dozen contracts traded, and yet I don't have a problem to get filled here. So for me, that's another thing that is rather confusing. It didn't help me in my trading, but Colby, by all means, if it helps you, please do it. Oh, by the way, since I see the other question here of when we're doing the next Theta Kings class. So we are right now just evaluating how many of you are interested in doing another class like this. So if you missed the class this week and you say, gosh darn it, I would like to be able to know what puts to sell and how to take advantage of these crazy market conditions, we're considering putting on a class next week. If you would like to, or if you're interested in this class, go to rockwelltrading.com/options. Because this is where we just gather email addresses and an interest. So if you would put your name and email address in there, this way it helps us to see, is there enough interest? And if enough of you are interested, then we can do another class like this next week. So just go to rockwelltrading.com/options. No obligation whatsoever. Just want to gauge how many of you are interested. Okay, so Caleb is asking a great question, and you're just ignoring your main big account these days. That is absolutely correct, until the VIX is below 30 again. Now, honestly, I thought at some point maybe I should put some more money into the small account. Maybe I should trade it with $75,000 or something like this. But then also, I don't want to get greedy. I don't want to get greedy. I mean, I'm okay here with the money that I'm realizing there. And the big account that I use for trading PowerX, the PowerX strategy, I resume whenever the market is ready. And the market is ready when the VIX is below 40. Okay. Good. So Stephanie is asking, my long-term investment accounts lost a good chunk of money with the crash. Would it be a good idea to move the remaining funds and put toward a larger trading account so that I can start selling put options? Stephanie, so first of all, please understand, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not licensed to give financial advice, nor do I want to be licensed to give financial advice. So this is why the answer to your question has to be very general and just expressing my opinion. So please, by no means take the following statements as financial advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a trader, and I show you what I like to do. So there's two schools of thought, right? I mean, first of all, eventually the markets will recover. They always did it after every single crash. The key question is, how long will it take? And can you wait that long? For me personally, I do not like to be tied up a long term in the market. When I'm looking at charts right now, it seems that the market is more likely to go up, but hey, on Monday, we could have the next crash. So this will be a decision that you eventually have to do. I highly recommend that at some point you set aside an account for trading, because I believe that traders are running circles around long-term investors. Obviously, it doesn't seem this way when we're in the longest bull market in history. And you know, we had years where the S&P is up 39%. Now at this time, this is when investors are grinning and saying, see, we're doing good with the long-term buy and hold approach. But then you have something like this where even now for the year we're still down, and this is when most people who used to be investors get interested in trading. So I personally do not have any long-term stocks. I don't have anything long-term in the stock market. My longest holding period is 5 to 20 days. That's what I usually do. And for my investments, I invest in real estate. I have several apartment complexes here in Austin, and I'm looking to buy more apartment complexes right now in Austin and San Antonio. So that's what I do long term. Stephanie, does this help? And I mean, if you're watching this, not only Stephanie, but whoever else is watching it, if this is helpful, give me a quick thumbs up so that I know that this helps you, because I want to make sure that I'm delivering content here that helps you in your trading and making smarter decisions. Ricardo is asking, masterminds can watch Theta again. If we do the class again, yes, then if you're part of the mastermind, if you're a platinum or a diamond member, then you know everything is included. You make this one investment and then you don't have to make another investment in your education again. So yes, great question. I'm calling Mark here Ricardo because I know that Ricardo is behind Mark Rossi. Anyhow. Okay, guys asking, is it possible that the options will be exercised automatically at expiration date, even though I wasn't interested to buy and sell the stocks? Yes, let me show you exactly under which circumstances this can happen. So here, for example, play. This option expires on April 24th. So let's take a look at the chart because it's a great question. And oh my gosh, we're pulling back. We have 3 minutes left in the trading session. But I want to show you what happens here and what I'm looking for. So let's go to play. So the option that I have, I'm basically betting that play, which is Dave & Buster's, will stay above the blue line, which is, I believe, we did $9, right? Before the green line, before April 24th. This is what you see here, right? So play, April 24th, 9 put. So this is my bet that I put in the market here. If it goes below the blue line, you can be assigned. This is why it is super important that you know exactly what stocks to pick. I'm super, super picky about the stocks, right? So this is why I was looking this week at NCLH, a cruise line, Norwegian Cruise Lines Holdings. I was looking at airlines this week, but then I decided to go with SPCE. I don't know if you can call this an airline, this Virgin Galactic, right? And I decided to go with Dave & Buster's here. I'm a little bit surprised that they are not up more today, but hey, it is what it is, and they're delivering some nice profit. So just going back to your question, yes. So if you dip below your strike price and you sold the put, then you will be assigned and you don't have a say whether you want it. That's the main difference between buying and selling options. And if you need a refresher, I did an options class. It's called Options 101. If you look for Markus Option 101 here on YouTube, you'll find the class. It's probably 45 minutes. I think we even did an hour where I explain the differences and when you want to buy and when you want to sell. When you buy, guy, this is when you have the right but not the obligation. So when you buy options, this is when you're allowed to choose whether you want to exercise the option or not. When you're selling it, you don't have a choice. And if you need a refresher there, take a look at the Options 101. Is this helpful? Okay. Oh, Nicole is, yeah, if you're interested in the mastermind and would like to know more about this, this is the group that I personally trade with and mentor together with my head coach, Mark Hodge. Contact Lisa, Lisa at rockwelltrading.com, or here's the phone number, Austin phone number 512-858-8523. Okay, great. So, Bernard, how can I hedge without options? It's difficult. It's possible. So, as an example, here's how you could hedge. Let's say you have an airline. So, if you want to go long the airline, you could get short the whole sector. But you see, this is when it gets complicated. It is way easier to hedge with options. And I highly recommend that that you look into options. Bernard, I'm just curious, is there a reason why you don't want to do it with options? I'm just curious because every broker allows you to buy options, right? And you can buy calls and puts and therefore protect yourself in either direction, right, from a massive swing here. And if you want to sell options, even that is possible. Just your broker wants to make sure that you know what you're doing. But I'm just curious, Bernard, is there a particular reason of why you decided not to sell options? or why to trade options at all. So we'll get back to you. Um, Dave, do you have a video on how to take profits and get out if a winning trade? My wife is asking. Okay, I hope that your wife is doing good and want to get out of a winning trade. Yes, I do. It is actually profit taking. Nicole, if you could look it up, I believe it's called profit taking strategy. So I have a whole video on a profit taking strategy, and Nicole will post it here in the chat in just a little bit. So she'll look it up for you. And yes, we have this. Okay. So Mark is asking, great question. Do you have a video on how to set a stop loss on options call if possible? Stop losses on options are super tricky, and I don't do this. There's a reason for it. I like to use stop losses on stocks. When you're trading options, sometimes the bid and ask is completely out of whack, especially if you go at out of the money option. When you set a stop loss, you might get filled at a price and then it immediately jumps back up. It's I don't use stop loss on options. I do have, however, a plan for what do I do when this trade goes wrong. But great question. Yeah. All right. Kushal says I just got filled on play as well. Really? You are and I'm not? Did you? So let me actually just check. Let's double check my positions here. Maybe I got filled too and didn't notice it. Nope. I'm still in play. So good for you. You see, I see that the last price in play was 15 cents and my limit order here is at 13 cents. So we were 2 cents away from me possibly being filled. So maybe you used another stop loss, which is fine. But hey, can't complain. Making money is always good. And you know, see, so nobody ever got broke taking profits. Isn't this the truth? Okay, let's have a coffee, then take a look at some more questions. Really enjoy hanging out with you here. And if you're enjoying this video thus far, give me a quick thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And if this is your first time here and you think, oh, that's actually pretty cool, consider subscribing to the channel and hit the little notification bell. This way you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. Good. So, greetings from Miami, says Senfred. Could you please comment on Wendy's? I'll be happy to. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at Wendy's. And again, I like to use my 3 indicators. And right now, my 3 indicators saying that Wendy's is more likely to go up. So since when did the indicators the first time say that now it is more likely for Wendy's to go up? Right here at $14. Now, if you caught this trend where you go from $14, let me just see right here to where we are right now. Let's see. I need to see how I can, I probably have to remove this line. So let me just put this in here. There we go. If you would have caught this move, wow, that's a 25% move. So that's pretty cool. That's what I see. Will it continue to go up? You see, this is the important thing. This is where traders say right now, oh man, it's still green. No, what you want to look for is the first green bar right here. Let me mark this right here. Boom, right? At the first green bar, that's when you want to buy. Right now, this move has already taken place. But if you're in Wendy's, right now, the indicators say it is more likely to go up. Hey, by the way, if you would like to know this in detail, you should really get this book. I'm very biased because I believe it's a really good book. It's 176 pages. You already know the drill. I'll be happy to send you this book for free. All I ask is that you cover shipping and handling, $4.95. And in the book, you see we have all these charts in there, right? So you see exactly what to do when. It's a bit hard to show. Anyhow, it's a good book. I see that some of you already got it. So we shipped a bunch of books this week. We were on back order from the printer because of the whole situation, but we shipped out a bunch of books this week. And there's a link right underneath the video. If you would like to get it, please do. Okay, Senfred, does this help? All right, good. So Antonio says, let's see. Antonio says, with the recent volatility, I've had good luck trading call rights. Yeah, you can do that. That's buying the stock and selling the call. You could do that. I right now prefer selling puts, but that is a good strategy too. You can do. I'm thinking about doing probably a course on this and a class on this particular strategy in a few weeks from now. Right now, my favorite strategy is still selling puts. Okay. So James says, I'm interested in Theta Kings. Hey, there's probably the team put a link somewhere there. So if you're interested in this class, I think we're still considering doing it next week. We'll let you know this weekend if we do for sure. And yes, there is a small investment in the class. Usually, this class would be $997, but with everything that is going on right now, there will be a special deal. Don't know yet what it is. Don't know what the team has decided. I just show up and do my thing, which is talking about the markets and trading, right? So anyhow, Marina says, I'm interested in doing a retake. So if you have already invested in the class, there will be a very, very, very small fee to retake it. And it's for a very simple reason. I need to keep the class small that I can answer all of your questions. You see right now here, watching live, we have more than 200 people. I believe it's 225 people. And it's hard for me to keep up with the questions. Now, when I'm teaching and doing a class, I like to limit it to 100 people because this way I have a chance to respond to all of the questions. And then, of course, my head coach, Mark Hodge, will be with me as well. So we're the two of us are actually tackling the questions. But this is why we keep the classes rather small, because otherwise it's almost impossible to keep up. All right. So Tom says, very interesting and helpful. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think the market has nowhere to go up, but not saying it might not go down well, because it might. But hey, life and therefore growth will continue in the long run. I mean, this is what we see. I mean, over time, I mean, if we look at the markets, let's just jump on the chart here. If you look at the markets, let me remove this, and let's go to the Dow Jones. I mean, you know this. If we look at monthly charts, yeah, the markets always go up. I mean, look at this. Now we are looking since the 80s. And yes, we will have blips in between. That is normal. It's absolutely normal to have a correction because at some point, stocks are too expensive. So this crash, as weird as it sounds, is actually healthy. That's what we need. The key question is, how long will the markets take to recover? And even more importantly, and I mean, this is not only for you, Tom, but for everybody, how much time do you have for the markets to recover? Because let's go back to the charts here in a moment. If you look, for example, at the crash right here, which was around 2000, the year 2000. So let's just take a look at this. See, this is when the market started going down right here, and no, I need to use a different ruler here. There we go, because this gives me a date range. I'm going to zoom in a little bit first so that we can make it in. See, this is when the market went down, and it took, look at this, it took 1,800 days. That's almost 6 years, right? It took almost 6 years until we recovered. Then we had the crash in 2008, and when we had this in 2008, and from this high, there we go, until we recovered, it was right here, 1,920 days. So as you can see, also almost 6 years. So I don't know about you, but this is why I don't have long-term investments, because I don't want to be stuck in a position or in a trade for 6 years. That's way too long. I mean, I'm getting antsy after 6 days. So anyhow, great comment. But this is where, yes, in the long run, it will go up. But if it has crashed and you need the money right now, that's why I don't like to have long-term positions. Good. And Salty, you are absolutely right. The market can stay illogical longer than most people can maintain liquidity in their accounts. Got it. Nailed it. Okay. Good. Tom says, made $300 in paper trading going long on EQM. I remember that EQM was popping up. Follow your rules. Easiest trade ever. Good. I mean, see, this is where it goes back. What is the best trading strategy? Tom, the best trading strategy is the one that makes you money, right? It doesn't matter whether it makes me money. You need to make money with the trading strategy. As long as this happens, you're good, right? Keep trading that strategy. Okay. Vladimir, appreciate your comment. Thank you for providing honest answers, staying true to your principles. This is rare nowadays, unfortunately, right? But this is why I also appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate the feedback. Hey, talking about feedback, if you haven't hit like, do me a favor and do this right now while I'm grabbing a sip of coffee. Now, I really enjoy spending these 45 minutes in the afternoon with you, looking at the markets, sharing what I do, and my hope is that this somehow helps you, also motivates you, encourages you, and that you see trading doesn't have to be super complicated. Trading can be simple. Now, I'm not saying that trading is easy, right? But it's not as complicated as some people might want you to think it is, because there's $1 billion industry out there that likes to sell trading courses. And cheers for a moment. And as you know, what happens there is you buy the first course, and then they say, oh, this was the beginner's course. Now you have to buy the next one, and now you have to buy the next one. And before you can place a trade, you're already out so much money. See, you know me. Yes, I do have a software because I believe the software will make your life so much easier. It's the software that I use personally. And when you buy the software and after this you say, you know what, I would like to be mentored by you, Markus. Of course, I have a mentoring program. This is the mastermind that we talked about. But once you're part of the mastermind, whatever I do, I mean, this is, especially in the diamond level, so I should clarify this, talk to Lisa about it in detail. But this is where in the diamond level, all these courses that I do are included. And for those of you who took the Theta Kings class, I mean, did I upsell you anything at the end of the class? This is where I said, hey, if you enjoy trading live and would like to continue to do this, consider becoming one of my private students. But it's not that I say, oh, but now you still can't trade puts. Now you have to do something else. No, it's not the point. Anyhow. Good. Claire, I'm so glad to hear that you closed all of my 3 option trades today with a profit. Isn't that a great feeling? I mean, so happy for you. I know that we met, when was it, Claire? 3 years ago in Orlando, I believe at the Money Show. That's when we met. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Gio says, yes, you can lose a lot of money selling puts. You need to know what you're doing. So I know that when I do it, it looks so easy, but this is why I decided to put together the class where we have a checklist, right? I mean, in the checklist, there's probably 18 points in the checklist to make sure that you get the right stocks and the right strike price and the right expiration. I have my put options calculator that's part of the class. So I absolutely agree with you, Gio. It is super risky, but is it possible for your stop loss to be skipped and continue down? When you're selling puts, there's no stop loss. I mean, at some point you own the stock if the trade goes against you. But again, I'm super picky when it comes to picking my stocks. And thus far, my track record is, I don't know, 12-0, 10-0, don't know. So all the trades that I've been taking in the past few weeks have worked out. Now, doesn't mean that they will continue to work out. Loss are part of the business, but the pickier you are, and the less greedy, that's another important thing. The less greedy you are, the more successful you will be. What is the saying? Pigs get slaughtered. And you know what I mean, right? When you're getting too greedy, the markets will punish you. So be very systematical, be very, be German. I always wanted to say, be German. That's what we do. We are systematical, we are methodological, right? And this is why I have my checklist and I have my playbooks. Anyhow, good. Okay, Skip, really appreciate the feedback. Oh my God, it is already time. Call it a day. Because I like to keep these sessions to around 45 minutes. I don't want to keep you on YouTube here forever. I hope that you're enjoying it as much as I enjoy doing them for you. Want to make sure that we have a coffee together, and by now my coffee starts getting cold, so I know it's time to wrap it up. Hey, the markets are crazy, but we finished the second day in a row. There is hope that we might actually see a recovery, that we might actually reopen the economy. Of course, a lot of things can happen, but that's what it's also about, this Coffee with Markus. Staying optimistic, staying positive, because there's so many bad things going on. We're all staying at home, stay safe, stay healthy, right? And feel free to forward this video and share this video with anybody who you think might find this helpful. Talk to you soon. You have a fantastic weekend, and we'll be back here on Monday at the usual time, 3:30 Eastern time, 30 minutes before the close, so that we can maybe look at some trades, that we can look at the markets closing, that you see what's happening in my account. And until then, take care. See you soon.